Alright, guys, welcome back to GG Gauntlet. As always, this is Marco.
And this is Groot, and I'm Bao.
Wait. Why are you swabbing Groot?
Oh, there was an explosion,
Oh,
and Bobby sacrifices himself. And he turned into the... Actually, I have no idea.
okay.
No, I think he's still relegated. We had a table here where Groot used to sit, but I don't know where the table is.
it became...
So
we
it
chopped
became
up
more Groot.
yeah.
It repurposed itself into more Groot. That's how it reproduces. And so now I'm just holding Groot today. And Wabe is still going to go through promotions.
Yeah.
And it's a very suboptimal time for him. It is.
But while he's doing that, we're talking about Overwatch.
Yes, the other references we're doing will be for a later episode.
Yeah.
But
Right now, it's about Blizzard's newest, biggest IP. How does it fit in the history of esports? Will it actually be the next big thing? Why is everyone talking about it? Why is everyone talking about it?
I mean, like you said, man, it's just getting traction all over the world. It's going global. Just last weekend, we had I think what you could probably say as one of the first really competitive international tournaments for the game at Gamescom 2016, the Overwatch Atlantic Showdown. You had some of the best teams in the world right now.
Yeah.
Meet each other, have really competitive games.
Huge streaks were cut down.
Huge
Well,
streaks.
One.
Exactly.
One huge
Exactly.
streak was cut down.
Envious's 57 game win streak in tournament
That was
mode.
my favorite part of the tournament, the Star Wars part.
Absolutely. You know, the Empire going down.
No,
in the
because Rogue
semifinals.
won.
Oh, yeah. I walked into that.
Oh,
one. That was
didn't
my
you?
fault. That was my fault. But yeah, I mean, it was a really good weekend. And I mean, Overwatch is just blowing up everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I think as early as 2 months ago, we were seeing all of these infographics that Overwatch was overtaking League of Legends.
Overtaking.
Yes, overtaking League of Legends.
In all the PC bombs.
In Korea. Right. And so you know that there is some very significant attention being poured into this game.
Yeah.
Now, I think it's important at this point to really talk about tempering some expectations, however.
All right.
Right? I mean, I've said this before in past
I'll
articles.
say it again.
Exactly. I'll say it again. We are still in the, and this is going to drive you crazy, we are still in the before times
Okay.
of Overwatch. Okay, this is still prehistory as far as Overwatch is going.
All right.
We haven't figured out how far the competitiveness of it as a title can go.
Yeah,
Right.
but it is starting out strong.
It is starting out very strong,
Like
and
the
it has a good
yeah.
trajectory. But I mean, that's a Blizzard game. It's not unlike them to have good showing.
Yeah,
and
they know.
Getting out of
If
the
you
game.
can say one thing about them, they know how to make good games.
They do, and I mean, Blizzard has had a history of creating really good titles. Now, however, and this is what we're gonna get going on in a deeper aspect later on in the show is, can they sustain it as an esport?
Can you keep it up, Blizzard?
Right.
Yeah, but as of right now, it's not just a highly competitive game where people are looking at it and going like, I can get really good at this. I can pwn some noobs. I can win money in tournaments. It's also very popular among content creators.
Oh, definitely. I mean,
Not since League of Legends have we seen just this flood of fan art, of
fan
videos.
art, fan videos, music videos.
Even the great content creators of League of Legends, like Instalock, they're making songs about it. Sky Williams
is doing a lot of...
Even Donkey, though that's a different case.
Yeah, well, Donkey has always done like multiple games on his channel, and yeah, again, Sky Williams, also a versatile content creator. But I think it's important for us to also talk about this in just the context of it as an esport, because this is something that sometimes people forget, especially some developers forget in the era of esports as an industry. Everyone's talking about how big it's becoming.
Yeah.
It's also important to have an esport that people just like. I mean, your competitive player base is always a smaller percentage of your actual total player base. And while it's important to have good skill ceilings, good mechanics, good competitive environments, good solo queue mechanics,
It still has to be fun.
it still has to be fun. It still has to be engaging.
Fundamentally.
Yes, fundamentally. That's 2-0 now on the puns. I am sick today, by the way. So that's I'm gonna chalk it up to that. Is what I'm gonna do.
Not on his game.
Yeah,
right now.
I'm not 100%. But you know what else is 100% though? Just the community interaction for Overwatch.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That segue though, that was only. All right. So what else are we talking about today?
Well, I want to talk about Blizzard's history handling, its games, because I feel like there were many times it had a PvP system, and it just dropped the ball, right?
Right. I mean, WoW Arena used to have a really big following. It used to have multiple events just catering to the 3v3 aspect of the arena. It started out with the 5v5, and then I think the one that people most remember are the 3v3 arenas.
I feel like this is a trend with Blizzard, because look, it was leading the RTS era with Warcraft, even the isometric dungeon crawlers,
right?
With Diablo, and then it was the king of MMOs. WoW was, it wasn't the first, but it was the king.
Yes, it wasn't the first, but they really do polish genres, is what they do.
They did skip the MOBA stage, but now with this whole class-based shooter, they are totally leading the way.
Definitely, and that's something that we need to talk about when it comes to Overwatch. Overwatch is in the infancy stages of it as an esports title, and you have all of the metrics. I'm gonna put you down for a little bit. You have all of the metrics that will mark its success. You have, again, just an amazing amount of attention being poured to it by the community.
Yeah.
You have all of these organizations, Envious, Fnatic, who else? Dignitas.
Yeah, even
all this
people
big name
like
teams.
Liquid, Luminosity,
Complexity. NRG, Complexity. All of these organizations.
The usual suspects.
Exactly. Who are natives, digital natives of the esports industry, looking to invest early.
Yep.
Right. Also in Korea. Not only is Overwatch, and again, just going back to the whole statistic of it, overtaking League of Legends in PC bombs.
Yes.
You also have Korean teams looking to get into Overwatch competitively. So you have all of these recipes, all of these ingredients, different ingredients for success. But what Blizzard has done historically is that sometimes it doesn't know what to do with all those ingredients.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in detail after a few breaks, or just one break. How many breaks do you want?
How many breaks? Come on. I can't go no lower than 2.
All right. We'll be back. All right. We're back. And discussing Blizzard. It's a big thing.
Definitely. I mean, so just going straight into it, right?
Yeah.
Blizzard, again, great games maker.
Yeah.
Not as much of a success in making competitive esports titles.
Although
in the modern era.
Yeah. It was there at the start. It was basically the biggest esport when esports, in the modern sense of the word, was coming together with Brood War.
Yes.
It was the game to play. It still has a following in Korea.
It's still being played, and it's going to be remastered, which is a testament just to the game.
Yeah.
Right. But I think even there that has to be put into context, because a lot of that has to do with Blizzard just making a phenomenal game. I mean, Brood War to this day. I mean, I still play Brood War.
Right?
I still like Brood War, but
they just, when they wanted to replicate the formula, they had StarCraft 2.
They got the wrong idea, I think, is the problem.
It was so wrong. I switched from Protoss to Zerg.
Yeah, because you're filthy. Oh, I hate you. But okay, just going back into that though, right? So what happened with Brood War, and this is probably going to be a topic in and of itself, right? But essentially, what happened with StarCraft is that it was an amazing game, but a lot of what made it successful wasn't solely up to Blizzard. It was the competitive environment that was created in Korea because it was such an awesome game.
Yeah.
Right?
And is it that Blizzard is not aware that these things could be big? Because, okay, here's another big example. They could have owned Dota.
They could have.
But they missed out on that.
They did. And I don't think it's a matter of they don't know if it could be big. I mean, Blizzard's a big company. They're run by smart people. They know they could make a big title. I think the thing that needs to be looked at here isn't that they had no idea it was going to be big. Clearly they did.
Clearly.
It's mostly that they had different incentives or different ideas on how it can become big.
Oh,
right.
All right.
Again, we're seeing it repeat itself in Heroes of the Storm, where they got into the MOBA genre. They polished a lot of what.
Although they did try to switch up the formula.
They tried to switch it up a little bit. They tried to streamline it a little bit more than what League did.
Okay, fine. Your word is streamline.
Yes.
My word is oversimplify.
Yeah, but that's mostly because we come from a different MOBA background, right?
That's mostly because we're tryhards.
Exactly. I mean, that's mostly because
we like our last hittings.
But that's the thing, because Blizzard has those ideas, and they don't exactly appeal to what made those games succeed in the first place.
All right. Yeah.
That isn't game design. I mean, that's what happened with StarCraft. Once they got into StarCraft 2, what they did was incorporate a lot more of what's of Warcraft 3.
Yeah.
A lot of the micromanageable abilities and cooldowns.
And they did try to make, at least the campaign, hero-ish.
Exactly. They made the campaign hero-ish. But then once they got into the competitive side, this is another argument in itself. Again, they made some decisions where some people on the other side of the fence would say, oh, region locking was necessary to promote competitiveness, otherwise Koreans would just dominate the scene.
I feel like that was a big mistake.
Yes.
Mostly because it's not that you have to it's not like you have to protect other regions from the shark in the water, which is Korea, but you have to let them play together so that eventually
they'll know how to
defend themselves.
Exactly.
What we're trying to say is region locking.
Yeah, it's never a good idea, right? So right now, though, with Overwatch, again, they didn't reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
They didn't reinvent the wheel. But they now have just... Basically, they went through 2 esports titles before this one, right?
Yeah.
Heroes of the Storm was just released. Hearthstone was an unexpected success.
Yeah, I like to call it the chaser of esports. Like, almost every pro, they have their own game. Like, a lot of League pros, they just play Hearthstone.
In between, like, Dynacue.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the next match, let's play Hearthstone.
Yeah.
It's super popular, and I feel like it could be a really big esport.
I mean, yes, but again, right, those are some of the things that Blizzard... So essentially, Blizzard has to look at what's in its game design.
Yeah.
Is it rewarding for hardcore players? Yes, you have to cater to your casual base, like we talked about earlier.
And it is good at doing that.
It is. But then again, sometimes it alienates that hardcore players. And
at it's a good overall experience at the expense of
your top-end players. Mm-hmm. Now, when you think about it that way, let's just call it in business, right? Mm-hmm. When you have a very, very good game, your top-end players, your competitive players, the players that are on stream, the players that are in tournaments, they can serve as marketing for your game.
Yeah.
People can see them just doing crazy things with your game that, like, your average player wouldn't even dream about, and then they want to do it.
That was something that Riot Games realized a few years ago, which is why they had stipends. They started that in the esports industry.
Yes.
And now we have player trades for just streaming.
Absolutely.
We always look back at the great Korean exodus, where China bought out all of Korea's top League of Legends stars. Not all, most of them. And not all of those stars were gotten just for pure competitive reasons. There were some exclusive streaming deals.
Absolutely. So that's one. The other part is that Blizzard also really needs to understand how to make a truly global tournament system.
Yeah, they have
a global tournament system for their games.
Yeah, it feels like they recognize that it can be a big esport, but they never double down on their efforts.
Yes, that feels that's the story with Heroes of the Storm. I mean, Heroes of the Storm had its first tier champions.
Yeah.
MVP Black. But then right after that, just the attention
Where
for
did it
Heroes
go?
of the Storm, even the world champions, couldn't feel the motivation to continue in this space.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's Blizzard's story with esports so far.
That's how they operate. That is how they do.
Yes. And just going back to WoW Arena, like I
Yeah.
remember there were times before where some of the WoW Arena meta games, right? People were talking about should they nerf certain compositions. I forgot the actual name, but it was the shaman, hunter, and sometimes the paladin. Basically, just pop all your cooldowns and then blow someone up.
Oh.
Right. I forgot the beast something. If someone who used to
Comment
follow
or whatever.
yeah,
Tell us.
wherever
Tell
we post this, right? When that was a problem in competitive, right? Blizzard sort of overdid it to the point that it wasn't just a simple numbers tweak in order to make other skills more viable. They actually removed some of the skillful counters to it.
Yeah. They went kind of Riot Games on that.
Exactly. So sometimes they do that with their games, and that you lose pro player confidence in that. When you start doing things like that.
Yeah. And you kind of see some of that bleed into how they balance Overwatch. It's their classic, this thing is strong, let's make it weak and make something else strong.
Yeah,
It's the revolving door
it is.
of imbalance.
It is. And we're going to talk more about what Overwatch can do
Mm-hmm.
to improve and make sure that it really succeeds over
It's
the long term.
optimized for the future, in future.
Yeah. But right now, the ball is with Blizzard. Blizzard needs to understand that it needs a well thought out global competitive system,
Yeah.
and its game mechanics have to be rewarding for its top tier players in order for it to become an esport. Because if it isn't, no one's gonna bother.
We know it's appealing. We know it's fun. That's solved.
Yes.
Now just make it very competitive and rewarding.
It's making $1 million. It's making $1 million just on it being a fun game. Now, if you make it also a challenging game, it's gonna make even $1 million more.
You can have it all.
Yes,
Right.
they can.
So after the break, we'll talk about potential improvements for Overwatch and what could we see out of it in the near future. All right. No.
This is not what it looks like.
All right. What we want it to look like is us talking about the history of competitive
Yep,
Overwatch.
the short and brief
Yeah.
history of competitive.
Yeah,
Overwatch.
so in the few months that we've had Overwatch out, from your teams like Cloud9 all the way to the recently dethroned Envious, and now it's kind of like where does the power lie now that Rogue has basically made everything the Badlands?
Definitely. I mean, again, when we opened the show, we talked about how the Overwatch Atlantic Showdown is probably one of the biggest and most legit of tournaments so far for Overwatch. But that's not to say that these teams haven't been going up against each other. I mean, ever since the beta, you've had community tournaments.
The before times.
The before times. You've had community tournaments from Ghost Gamers, from just the Overwatch Academy.
Shout out to Ghost Gamers. You can watch VODs on their site.
Absolutely. So they've been running these competitions, and that's actually where teams developed in the early times. That's how they got their players. In fact, just between Rogue and Envious, Tavik, the captain of the Rogue team, used to play with the Envious players.
Yeah.
Right. So you had, just in the history of Overwatch so far, you've had teams like IDDQD dominating in the beta stage tournaments, and then once you got into summer, right before the release, you had teams like Cloud9 dominating, and then after the release, you had Envious come into the scene.
This is also what I like about Overwatch so far. I mean, Seagull, right?
Right.
Really awesome player, probably the best in my eyes.
Right.
But doesn't mean that just because he's good, his team is number one.
Exactly. So you have some really, really good players like Seagull, having success as a streamer, having personal success, really showing off his skills, but not really finding that because Overwatch is really, really heavily predicated on your success as a team.
Speaking of team, throughout the entire history of, again, the brief history of Overwatch so far, we've had very, very specific overpowered team comps.
You have, and I mean, back in April, for example, you had either the double McCree, double Winston compositions, or you had Genyara Ball, where you would just put on a Harmony Orb.
Give Genji some balls.
Exactly. Give Genji some balls and then mark the other guy.
Yeah.
Right. You had those compositions and those were staples. Right. And
you could only fight them with a mirror.
With the mirror match. And I think the other mirror match that we saw was the double Lucio McCree lineups, where you would just have those the entire time.
Yeah.
And if people are complaining now about how there's always a Zenyatta, always a Lucio, try having just the same ones with multiple.
Yeah, this is the era of the Highlander rule. Before it was just you could 5 Tracer, 1 Lucio.
Yes. So if there is something that Overwatch can improve on, it's hero diversity, and you mentioned it, right? There's something to be said about having mirror matches, because if you have a mirror match, it often comes down to who can pull
raw skill.
Exactly, who can pull it off better. I mean, you saw that in League of Legends, right? I mean,
people love the blind pick,
right?
In LCK.
Exactly, that comes down when ties are, that used to happen with as tiebreakers, and that's how you get epic moments such as the Zed Faker versus Ryu outplay, right? But that's something that happens in Overwatch right now, mostly as a function of having a small hero pool.
Yeah. So I think we're running a little short on time, so we just want to give you viewers like one thing that we think should be improved or that we're excited about for Overwatch right now. What I want to improve for Overwatch right now is just, on the viewer side, I want a better spectator camera.
Yeah.
Overwatch right now is a very visually cluttered game. There's a lot of lights going on. The screen is if you just view it first person every time, you'll get kind of confused.
You will, and if you're watching from the stream, it's hard to get invested into the game if you haven't played it.
Yes.
So again, if you want your esport to succeed in the modern era, you gotta make it viewable.
Yeah, and I know you have some opinions on the recent changes to the competitive.
Yep. So competitive matchmaking rankings are going to be implemented instead of just having that weird number from starting at 50 and then you go up to rank 100. Now you have them as an MMR number from 1 to 5,000. And then there are tiers in between, sort of like a weird baby between League of Legends and Dota.
Half League of Legends and half Dota.
Exactly.
But stronger than both? Question mark.
I like that better because you can at least have a decent enough and a more intuitive way of understanding how much better you are getting in comparison to other people.
Yeah.
Right. And then of course they're implementing some more minor tweaks. I feel like the actual benefits, the pros and cons of which we'll see as it unfolds in the PTR and as it gets rolled out.
It's a little too early to tell if this will be really good or bad.
Yeah, but they're making the right steps. They're making the right steps.
I like that they're being very proactive with it. It's only been a couple months, not even 2 months.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Of this first season, and they're making radical changes. I like that.
Yes.
I like that they're trying.
But there is one thing that I don't like.
What?
Bring back Genji triple jumps. Come on, man. That's a skill thing.
Yeah.
But
don't take away lanes. Don't take away.
Don't take away lanes. Don't take away. I'm sorry. But that's
a topic for another time. Maybe the next episode of GG Gauntlet.
Question mark. But that's going to be it for us, I think.
Yeah. Once again, that's Groot. Where's Groot? This is Groot.
This is Groot.
I am Mark.
And I'm Val.